So you said that Chino's best friend had stole money from him, right?
Stole money from me that Chino like co-signed for.
Oh, okay. And who's his best friend? Just like a random
Bobby
guy?
Bowdit. No, not a random. He would always be at the shows, whether acting as a DJ or a hype man or a merch guy. But he took this money and like blatantly after knowing that Chino needed the money. I mean, Chino texted him no less than 50, 60 times about it. And Bobby would make up mad excuses like, "Sorry, dude, it's not a good time. I'm feuding with my wife, or we're getting evicted from the house, or I need the money for my son's tuition, or whatever." Literally, like a week after. Oh, and by the way, Bobby was the one that took pictures of Chino's suicide note and was sending it to people the day they discovered his body.
Wow.
The grossest fucking thing you can do. You've never seen the family talk shit about Bobby. It's like either they acknowledge this really happened or they're choosing not to believe it because it's like, that was Chino's brother. He would never snake him. And it's like, oh, okay, think whatever you want. But again, I live in reality. So I'm not playing the side of, in an ideal world, someone's best friend would never fuck them over. But I see it happen all too often.
And Chino asked you for more money, but you told him to go get it from your best friend, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But
because
now,
I told Chi he could keep it. So wait, let me explain that. I'm no fucking dummy in business, and it's literally impossible to take advantage of me. People try, and it either harms them physically or harms them mentally, or one way or the other. Like it's I'm gonna be fine. In this contract that Chino was a co-signer and vouched for, I, as collateral, had 10% of this tequila company that was supposedly worth millions. Okay. I used to work with this label called Sound Records and Entertainment in Seattle. They were connected to the world's largest debt collection agency in Renton, Washington, or some shit. I sold them the debt contract, so I got my money back. So I like, and even the Immortal Technique in them will tell you, like, after that happened from Bobby, where he like stole the money that could have helped me, I let a year go by and never wrote him once like, "Hey, where's my money?" Because I found a company that was willing to buy the debt contract. So if this tequila company, it's called La Conecta, if they actually ever become something, these old white men are going to enforce this debt contract against them and collect millions. But I sold them the contract at what I lost for, 20 grand. Okay. So that kid asked me, he's like, "So if you got the money back, then why would Bobby still owe someone money?" I said, "Because there's interest." So Bobby was late interest wise to the tune of like 30 to 40,000 bucks. So I told he could take all the money. I wanted Chino to be active about getting money from Bob. Bobby's not my friend. I would call Bobby for two things. And because of the legalities of it, I can't tell you what those were. Bobby, if you interviewed him, I'm sure will gladly tell you what they were. Bobby being close to G.I. Joe and them, it would make sense that Bobby would tell them. So maybe they'd stop shit talking me. Like, and no, like, bro, maybe it's a fucking play. I don't know what that would give them the impression that I do, but so I told she, like, bro, you vouched for Bobby. And she never thought that this would happen. And people after she passed tried to convince me that he was in on it. And I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's like, Vito knows what the value of like me is. So if Bobby was taking advantage from me for 20 grand, and let's say she was in on it and took half the money or some shit, I don't see a world where she sells me out for 10 grand. So I refuse to believe that scenario when other people like Saint, who was shit talking me and whatnot after just being like DJ G.I. Joe and acknowledging all the great things I did and loving me. Go get your money from Bobby. I don't have any money for you. And the difference between when I paid for the stem cells and when I did the loans and like gave Chi the money for the Range Rover and stuff, this was either before my daughter was born or when she was in the first like 6 months of being alive. After that, with my daughter in the picture, yeah, you might hit me up to need to borrow money, and I might give you a few $100, but that's where we draw the line. I'm not giving someone 20 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand. It's not happening. Those days are done, bro. My daughter comes first in all walks of life. So that's what Bobby did. So the 20 grand that Bobby could have paid, or the 30 grand or the 40 grand that he should have paid to Chino, that would have paid, if it was 20 grand, it would have paid for one of the two stem cell procedures. And if Chino had both stem cell procedures that kept him alive for an extra 2 years, my logic was if he would have at least had one of the two procedures, he could have stayed alive for an extra 6 to 12 months. And again, I didn't realize that she had cancer, and there was not a lot of people who knew. So I didn't know how the cancer element was weighing on him as well.
Because, you know, people were really critical of you during the last interview because they were like, this guy is saying he didn't make that much money off of Chino, but now he's talking about he bought a Rolls Royce and a Bentley in the same week. And,
Yep.
you know, looking back in hindsight, do you wish that you had given him the money, though, because it would mean that he would be here today?
Okay, so good question. Someone else close to Chi did give him the money. And so that I've asked myself that many times. If I would have given the money, would he still be here? Well, the answer is no, because one of Sunil's friends did give him money and actually sent me the proof of the wire. I think he knew that the cancer was overwhelming and collected the money just so he might be able to like leave something for the girl. Even in like whether it's 10 grand, 20 grand, we're not talking a lot of money. But it's still something, because when we were in those court dates, you know, the judge was saying like the state in its whole with the music he owns and the assets he owns is worth like 10 grand. That was it. And he had two cars and fucking, so, you know, it just, it wasn't there. I wish that he at least would have, you know, I said in the first part, like, he told me, when you come back from Australia, I won't be alive. Then I come back and he's still alive. And I thought, okay, cool. Like, you changed your mind and you're going to be here with us, and brighter days are ahead. Rakim's about to drop. We're going to drop your album. Everything's going to be good. I wish if he was still of that mind frame, he at least would have taken a few days to be like, can you help me get my affairs in order? Even Bobby Bowden, when his dad was going to pass, M80, can you help me put together like this living will and trust? And I did it. This is before the theft shit. But I'm saying, like, she knew that I'm capable of doing these things are essentially must for anyone that's doing like life planning stuff. You know, so you know, I don't mind the people that are like, oh well, if M80 didn't make a lot of money with Chino, where's the money come from, and how does he afford nice shit? You know, I work with over 200 people. Like, every time I do a day's worth of work with Snoop, my commission is essentially enough to buy a car. Okay. If I'm brokering you know, if I'm an A&R of a Wu-Tang album that makes over $1 million, what kind of money do you think I'm making? I worked with Chi and made less than $20,000 in fucking since like '08. So clearly, like Priest, anytime I do work with Priest and made money, then we go out afterwards, and I'd be paying for the shit, the dinners, the sporting events, the drinks, and they were always plentiful. I mean, we're in a suite at the Lakers game and Clippers games and Kings games. This shit's not cheap, dude. All right. Like, Priest gets like $1,000 a verse or $1,500 a show. Like, and if I'm taking my $150 commission and buying us 8 tickets to a Laker game suite, clearly I'm taking a loss, you know, but I'm doing it because you're my friend. When me and Priest had our initial fallout, as I also said in the first part of the interview, you know, filled that void for me. And it was never about how much money can I make about Chino. I have artists I work with that is how much money can I make with this person. I don't make any money if I'm not making them money. That's never the case. So, you know, I don't mind it when people like, you know, if they looked at me like I only, you know, as my only client, that would make perfect sense. But I have 200 fucking some clients.
how much unreleased Chino music exists out there? Because I interviewed Focus Three Dots, right? And he said that he had an
Yep.
album with Chino that he's finishing up and going to give to the Barbosa family to
Yes.
release.
So there's the album with Focus. And I'm sure, bro, saying it's an album is probably very modest. I'm sure it could be like 5 albums. You know, he loved Focus. There is Darkness Our Colors. There's Map of Bones. There's God's Carpenter 2. There is the Tempest, which is the Man Bites Dog EP. There is the Madlib and Oh No record, which is like uh, something Hammer. There's the Mantis with Chino and DZ, which also has the last ever real Chino XL music video. That was supposed to be fourth quarter of this year, but we're gonna drop the DZ album and that Chino album with DZ in 2026. There's a lot of factors going on with all things DZ right now, so we're gonna just drop EPs for the rest of the year and keep that momentum alive. There's a record with somebody called Pale Horse Productions that's run by like Block McCloud and this guy Matt Munns. There's an ad for it in the Ascension pack. So yeah, there's at least 8, 9, 10 more records.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm pretty sure Jared Lee Goslin has an unreleased EP at Chino's. Rome has to have shit. Paul Getty probably has extra shit. Remember, she was such a perfectionist that he only released very sparsely. Like, thank God, Chino's family or China and Steina deleted like all the posts from Chino's Instagram where he was bigging me up, but I already had screenshots, everything. So it was simple for me to find the post where Chino's like, I'm going to have 3 projects drop this year. I'm working on 5, but 3 of them are coming. Because that was a big criticism in DJ G.I. Joe's video. Like, M80 is just releasing Chino music like at his fucking leisure. Chino didn't drop this much music when he was alive. And then I post the post from Chino, like, I'm going to drop 3 albums this year. Like, so now, Joe, are you telling Chino he's full of shit? Or just me? Like, okay.